Welcome to the debate. 10 years ago, the retail trading aesthetic was just entirely unsubtle.
Oh, completely. It was all rented Lamborghinis and private jets.
Right. It was this pervasive promise that you could trade the financial markets from a beach with just a smartphone and like a tropical cocktail.
Yeah, the aesthetics of effortless wealth. The entire industry was just focused on selling the destination, while completely ignoring the vehicle you supposedly used to get there. It was binary, it was flashy, and frankly, it was insulting to anyone who understands how market mechanics actually operate.
Exactly. But if you stepped into the modern retail trading space today, that aesthetic has completely inverted. It's really fascinating.
Right. The new currency isn't luxury. It's suffering.
It's spreadsheets, it's discipline, it's staring at the harsh reality of your own psychology. And today we are examining this exact shift through the lens of Hannah Forex.
Right. She's a creator with over 222,000 YouTube subscribers, and she spent the last 5 years documenting her journey in the currency markets.
Yeah, so our central question today is this. Does Hannah Forex represent a legitimate, transparent guide to the harsh realities of trading, or is her brand just a sophisticated modern iteration of a trading scam?
A scam that uses the illusion of authenticity as a highly optimized marketing funnel. We have an incredibly deep footprint to analyze here.
We really do. 277 videos, detailed community posts, and this massive business infrastructure.
So examining that footprint, I will argue that while her aesthetic has changed from the old get-rich-quick model, her underlying business model operates on classic influencer monetization mechanics.
Okay.
She utilizes affiliate links and gated communities to create this polished funnel that's basically masking as a raw trading journey.
And I'll be taking the position that her emphasis on data, on ruthless journaling, and, treating trading as an incredibly uncomfortable process of personal transformation, well, that proves her legitimacy as a transparent educator.
I look forward to diving into that.
Yeah, I honestly think she is the exact stabilizing force this industry needs right now. So let's actually start right there with her core philosophy.
All right, let's do it.
Because if you read her community posts, she represents the absolute antithesis of the get-rich-quick scam. She explicitly tells her audience that trading is a brutal mirror. She wrote recently that the reason trading is rewarding isn't because of the money.
Right, it's about what it forces you to become.
Exactly. You have to learn patience, discipline, emotional management. She practically promises her audience that they are going to suffer, that they will take losses.
Yeah, and that the difficulty isn't a sign of failure, but the actual mechanism of growth.
Right. She forces her followers to look at the unglamorous side of the process. Like she demands that before they even open a chart on Monday morning, they have to review their past week's data.
Which is a lot of work.
It is. She recently challenged her audience to stop consuming her content like it's Netflix and start doing the boring, repetitive work. I mean, that is not how a marketer operates.
Well,
A marketer wants you addicted to their content. She is actively telling you to turn it off.
Okay, so I completely disagree with the premise that telling people to turn off a video disqualifies her as a marketer.
How so?
Because honestly, authenticity and hard truths are simply the newest, most effective marketing angles in the modern retail trading industry.
You think it's just an angle?
I do. Her model acts exactly like a gym membership. The gym doesn't make its primary revenue from the elite athletes who get shredded.
Right, they make it from the people who don't show up.
Exactly. They make money from the thousands of people who pay for the idea of discipline, but who eventually stop showing up.
Wait, how does her model map to a gym membership, though? She's providing free educational videos.
Because you have to look at the contradiction between her anti-consumption messaging and her actual digital infrastructure.
Okay, walk me through that.
She tells her audience to stop consuming, start applying, right? Yet she has built a massive library of nearly 300 videos. And how is that library monetized?
Well, ads, sure.
Ads, yes, but it relies heavily on affiliate links. She promotes Blueberry Markets as a brokerage.
Right, she does.
She offers 15% off codes for FX Replay, which is a backtesting software. And she funnels people into a gated, paid community called Life Club. So maintaining that selling the idea of hard work is fundamentally different from selling a dream is a false dichotomy. She is still selling a dream. It's just the new dream of becoming an elite, disciplined stoic.
Yeah.
Her infrastructure is built from the ground up to monetize followers, not just educate them.
I mean, I see your point about the infrastructure, but you're missing the psychological friction she introduces into her own funnel.
What kind of friction?
Let's look at a specific challenge she posted to her followers. She identified this massive lack of resourcefulness in the trading community.
The whole flirting with trading thing.
Yes. She noted that people are basically just flirting with the idea of trading rather than committing to it. They like being in the group chats, they like watching the videos, but they vanish when it's time to actually journal their trades.
Which is true for most retail traders, yeah.
Right, so her solution was a strict directive to her audience. She said, quote, "No new videos, no new strategies, no new content, just execution."
Yeah, I remember that post.
She is acting more like a strict athletic coach here than a salesman. She makes no excuses for them, stating bluntly, you can't fix what you refuse to look at.
But that's exactly what a smart marketer would do.
How? If her primary goal was simply to funnel people into her affiliate links, telling them to stop looking for the next missing piece and stop watching YouTube is entirely counterproductive. It literally cuts off the top of her own marketing funnel.
You're taking that directive at face value, though. We have to look at the psychological mechanics of what she is actually achieving with that messaging.
I'm listening.
Telling them it's hard isn't cutting off the funnel. It is a brilliant psychological filter. Think about the life cycle of a retail trader. The vast majority of them fail. The statistics are brutal.
Right, like 90% or something.
Exactly. Now, when a traditional Lamborghini guru promises easy wealth, and the trader fails, the guru is instantly exposed as a fraud, and the customer churns out angrily.
Right, because the promise was broken. They were told it would be easy.
Precisely. They cancel the subscription and leave negative reviews. But Hannah Forex messaging completely inoculates her methods against that criticism.
Interesting.
By constantly reiterating that trading is brutally hard, that it requires facing your own delusions, she shifts the burden of proof entirely onto the consumer.
Wait, how so? Give me an example of how that protects her.
Think about what happens when her followers inevitably fail or blow their trading account. Because of her framing, the blame is placed squarely on their own mindset.
Ah, I see what you mean.
The narrative becomes, well, the strategy works, I just didn't journal well enough. Or I didn't manage my emotions, I treated her videos like Netflix instead of executing.
So they blame themselves, not her.
Exactly. And this leaves her brand completely intact. In fact, it drives the consumer deeper into her ecosystem.
Because they feel they need more help?
Yes, they feel they need more discipline, which keeps them paying for Life Club to stay accountable or utilizing her broker links to start a brand new account and try again. It is a closed-loop system of accountability that perfectly protects the creator from the mathematical reality that most retail day traders lose money.
That is a very cynical way to look at it, though. I think that assumes a level of Machiavellian intent that just isn't supported by the actual depth of her advice.
How so?
Well, if this were purely a psychological trap designed to keep people paying, her advice would be superficial. It would be motivational fluff.
Sometimes it is pretty motivational, though.
Sure, but she gives them exact, empirical tools to break out of the cycle. She tells them to go through each specific trade and ask, what did I do well? What did I do poorly? What do I need to be more mindful of this week?
Right.
She is actively pushing them towards self-sufficiency. A true dependency-based funnel would never give you the exact framework to realize you don't need the creator anymore.
But she's the one selling the tools.
She provides Notion templates for free. She explicitly acknowledges the trap of the learning phase. She calls out the phenomenon where traders learn a concept, test it, and then instead of executing, they go back to YouTube to find one more thing.
Yes, the learning trap.
Exactly. She tells them, as long as you're just learning, you can't fail. I mean, that is a profound psychological insight into performance anxiety. She is actively trying to push them out of her nest, not keep them trapped in a cycle of subscription fees.
I don't disagree that the psychological insights are sound. They are highly accurate observations about performance anxiety.
Right.
But we cannot separate the message from the medium. And the medium is a highly optimized YouTube channel that tracks perfectly with the retail trading industry's macro hype cycles.
Okay, let's talk about those hype cycles.
If we are investigating her legitimacy, let's trace her actual content timeline. If you look back 5 years ago, her channel exploded with content focused on the FTMO prop firm challenge.
Yes, she had videos like my first FTMO withdrawal and six-figure trading account. For the sake of clarity, let's just establish what FTMO is in this context.
Right. FTMO is a proprietary trading firm. Essentially, they promise to give amateur traders hundreds of thousands of dollars in company capital to trade with.
But only if the trader can pass a rigorous paid evaluation test first.
Exactly. And a few years ago, this was the absolute hottest trend in retail finance because nobody had their own capital.
True.
And Hannah rode that exact wave. Then, as the market evolved and the FTMO hype started to saturate, we see a pivot. About 3 to 4 years ago, she transitioned perfectly into the next massive algorithmic trend, which was ICT.
Inner circle trader concepts.
Yes, ICT is this highly specific, incredibly dense set of trading concepts based on algorithmic price delivery and smart money. It completely took over the YouTube algorithm.
It really did. It was everywhere.
Suddenly, her feed is populated with videos like Should I Learn Smart Money Concepts and A Week Learning ICT Honest Review.
Right.
This raises a fundamental structural question about who she is. Is she a master trader with a genuine standalone edge in the market, or is she simply a savvy content creator whose real skill is surfing whatever algorithmic wave is currently dominating the Forex search terms?
I see why you might think that, but look at how she actually responded to that trend. I would argue her timeline proves her transparency, not opportunism.
In what way?
Well, she never claimed to be a fully formed master trader from day one. Her channel's description literally says, "Join me as I document my Forex trading journey through film."
Okay, fair point.
She didn't blindly follow trends to exploit them. She documented the rigorous process of testing them in real time.
She still made content out of them, though.
Yes, but when ICT concepts became the dominant conversation, she didn't just quietly adopt them and sell a massive course. She tested them. And more importantly, she pushed back against them.
Did she really push back, though?
Yes! You mentioned her ICT videos, but you have to look at the culmination of that era on her channel. She posted a video titled, "I stopped watching ICT mentorship. Here's why."
Oh, right.
That is evidence of incredible critical thinking. She recognized that a massively popular trend wasn't serving her specific data-driven approach, and she publicly pivoted away from the very algorithm that was probably driving her highest view counts.
Because it didn't work for her.
She explicitly said her data didn't support the hype. That is the behavior of an authentic practitioner relying on their own journaling, not someone held hostage by YouTube search trends.
But the transition itself is the product. Whether she adopts the strategy or rejects it, the journey of exploring it generates the views, the ad revenue, and the affiliate signups.
So she can't win either way? If she adopts it, she's a trend chaser. If she rejects it, she's monetizing the rejection.
The YouTube content machine requires new inputs to function. When the FTMO well runs dry, you move to ICT. When you realize you can't build a sustainable edge with ICT, the rejection itself becomes the next viral piece of content.
I think that's a bit reductive.
The narrative of the struggle is exactly what monetizes so well. And this brings us to a critical junction in this debate. We have to look at the reality of trading versus the reality of content creation.
How do you mean?
Well, if we look at how she actually operates her day-to-day life, we start to see the scale of the business she is running. And the mechanics of that business look a lot less like a lone trader fighting the currency markets and much more like a digital media CEO.
Actually, I'm really glad you brought up her day-to-day life, because I think it firmly supports my position that she is a legitimate trader first.
Let's hear it.
Let's look at her recent trip to the Philippines. She traveled for 14 hours, arrived with a severe migraine, and contracted what she suspected was food poisoning.
Yeah, that sounded awful.
She spent her first day feeling absolutely terrible. But when the trading session opened, she still sat down at her charts.
Right, but did she actually trade?
No, she didn't actually execute a trade because the setups weren't there, which, again, shows remarkable restraint. But she showed up.
Okay.
She did her markups, meaning she mapped out her support and resistance levels. She jumped into her live club Discord to engage with her community while watching the sunrise.
Showing up to a Discord server while you have food poisoning isn't just the dedication of a trader, though.
Let me finish the point. Because she uses this specific experience to dismantle the exact lifestyle marketing we talked about at the beginning of the show.
Go on.
She explicitly tells her audience that trading is not about sitting on a beach for 10 minutes a day and ignoring the rest of your life. She treats it as a strict profession with non-negotiables.
Right.
She tells them if your rule is to log your trades, you log them, even if you're tired, even if you have a migraine. This level of unglamorous, unyielding consistency is the hallmark of a legitimate professional. She is living the harsh reality she preaches.
But you are conflating two entirely different professions here. Logging onto a Discord community to chat with paying subscribers while you are physically ill is the dedication of a community manager.
I wouldn't call her just a community manager.
Her recurring revenue relies on her active presence there. A lone retail trader does not need to chat with a Discord group to execute a trade. And we actually have explicit proof that her primary economic engine has shifted away from the charts and toward her community infrastructure.
What proof are you looking at?
Consider what she posted just a month ago regarding her business structure. She talked about a profound realization she had.
About her team?
Yes. She wrote that she realized she now pays her team more than she was ever paid as an employee in her past jobs. Let's unpack the economics of that.
Okay, let's unpack it. A retail Forex trader operating a personal account does not need a highly paid team. What do you need to trade? You need a broker, a charting platform like TradingView, and a journal. That's it.
True. Fundamentally, the entity that requires a robust, well-paid staff of editors, moderators, and managers is an educational media company.
But scaling a business around a passion isn't inherently deceptive.
It's not deceptive in itself. She noted that she is investing in her team and taking care of her people, which she describes as real impact. And I don't doubt her sincerity or her care for her employees for a second.
Right. But it fundamentally changes the nature of what we're looking at. The true business here, the one that requires a large team, the one that generates stable, predictable, scalable revenue,
is the media company.
Exactly. It's the educational and affiliate funnel, not the highly volatile metals or Forex markets.
You're framing the media company as evidence that the trading is secondary, but I look at the actual data she provides and see a completely different causality.
What's the causality then? The fact that she has built a successful business around her trading journey does not invalidate the trading journey itself. We have to separate the monetization from the quality of the education.
But can you separate them?
I think so. When she talks about moving away from being purely you-focused in her trading, meaning just staring at her own profit and loss, to being motivated by supporting her team, she is actually demonstrating immense psychological maturity.
Wait, how does paying a team make you a better trader?
Because of how it anchors you during the hard times. She literally explains that if trading stays you-focused, you will hit a wall when the inevitable drawdown periods come.
Drawdowns.
Yes, drawdowns. Those extended phases where your account balance drops because your strategy is temporarily out of sync with the market. They will absolutely break a solitary trader. Money alone won't carry you through that psychological pain.
I agree that drawdowns are tough.
By building a team and a community, she has created an external anchor for her discipline. She asks her followers, what does it work actually look like? Who benefits? She is teaching them how to build psychological resilience by attaching their trading goals to a higher purpose.
Okay, I see that.
The fact that this purpose also functions as a media business doesn't negate the profound truth of the lesson. In fact, it shows she has successfully applied the discipline of trading to entrepreneurship.
It does negate the transparency, though, because it blurs the line of where the actual success comes from. And that is the core issue for a consumer trying to emulate her.
I don't think it's blurred.
It is, though. When a follower watches her make 13% in 1 week trading metals, as one of her recent video titles proclaims, they're operating under the assumption that the market is her primary vehicle for wealth.
Which it is a significant part of.
But if the reality is that the stability, the team payroll, the lifestyle, and the freedom to travel to the Philippines are largely funded by the 222,000 subscribers, the Life Club memberships, and the Blueberry Markets affiliate commissions, then the transparency is an illusion.
An illusion?
Yes. The specific details of her chart markups might be authentic, but the macroeconomic picture of her success is obscured. She is teaching people how to be traders, but her own success is rooted in being an influencer, That is a massive structural conflict of interest.
But she isn't hiding that.
She tells people to stop chasing money and define what their success is for. It is very easy to tell your audience not to stress about a few bad trades when your YouTube ad revenue and community subscriptions provide a massive risk-free baseline of capital that your followers simply do not have.
I think you are vastly underestimating the transparency with which she operates that exact transition.
How so?
She is the one who openly posted about paying her team. She didn't hide that behind an NDA or buried in a corporate filing. She shared it as a point of reflection with her audience.
That's true.
And we have to give her audience some credit here. They aren't naive. They understand that YouTubers make money from YouTube. What they come to Hannah Forex for is the methodological rigor.
The rigor is definitely there.
Exactly. They come for the Notion templates, the backtesting strategies, the insistence on waiting for clear confirmation before entering a trade. When she posts shorts saying, "Your emotions don't get to decide," or "Every pause in price is a future clue," she is providing actionable, mechanical advice.
I agree, the advice is mechanical.
And that advice works mathematically, regardless of whether the person delivering it is a lone wolf or the CEO of a media company. The advice stands on its own empirical merit.
The advice does have merit. I will absolutely concede that her insistence on journaling, on reviewing historical data, and on not jumping frantically from strategy to strategy is fundamentally sound trading psychology.
So we agree on that.
We do. My contention today is not that she is giving bad advice. My contention is that the architecture of her brand is designed to look like a humble, solitary journey of a retail trader, while it functions mechanically as a highly optimized enterprise-level conversion funnel.
A funnel.
Yes, it is the sophisticated use of vulnerability. When she talks about her migraines, her food poisoning, her struggles to stay disciplined, it builds incredible parasocial trust.
And what's wrong with trust?
Nothing. But in the modern digital economy, parasocial trust is the highest converting asset you can own. It makes the 15% off code for FX Replay feel like a recommendation from a friend in the trenches rather than a monetized placement from a media CEO.
Okay. Well, to summarize my position, I believe Hannah Forex represents a legitimate, stabilizing, and necessary force in the modern retail trading space.
All right.
She demands accountability from an audience that has been heavily conditioned by the internet to expect easy answers. By focusing strictly on data, ruthless self-review, and treating trading as an uncomfortable, unglamorous process of personal transformation, she provides a grounded reality check.
She definitely provides a reality check, yes.
And yes, she has built a successful business alongside her trading, but she uses that massive platform to push people towards self-reliance. She openly challenges them to turn off her own videos if they aren't willing to do the hard, boring work of execution.
And to summarize my view, while I agree her advice on discipline and journaling is a massive improvement over the flashy guru scams of the past, the overarching structure of her platform operates on classic influencer monetization mechanics.
Which we've discussed at length.
Right. She leverages the aesthetics of struggle and transparency to build immense trust. That trust ultimately funnels a large audience toward affiliate brokers, backtesting software, and paid communities.
Yeah.
Her evolution from riding the FTMO wave to the ICT wave, and eventually to managing a highly paid team, suggests that her true masterpiece is her digital media funnel, not just her chart markups.
Well, it is clear that we agree on the foundational value of her actual trading advice, specifically her focus on psychological accountability and risk management.
Absolutely.
Where we fundamentally diverge is on how to interpret the economic engine built around that advice.
Exactly. We are looking at the exact same data points, her posts, her videos, her team expansion, and arriving at very different conclusions about the nature of authenticity in the creator economy.
It really raises fascinating questions about whether it is even possible to be a purely authentic educator at scale without inherently becoming a sophisticated marketing entity.
The mechanics of the platforms almost demand it.
And that is a tension that exists across the entire modern digital landscape, not just in Forex trading.
We encourage our listeners to dive into the source material themselves.
Highly recommend it.
Go look at her timeline, read the community posts we dissected today, and examine how you engage with educational content. Decide for yourself where the line falls between a transparent guide and a polished funnel.
Because in the end, whether you are analyzing a currency pair on a chart or analyzing the person teaching you how to trade it, you have to look past the surface presentation and understand the underlying mechanics of what you're looking at. You really do. It brings us right back to where we started. We've traded the rented Lamborghinis for Notion spreadsheets and tales of food poisoning in the Philippines. The aesthetic of success has completely changed.
It certainly has.
But the question that remains for every aspiring trader logging onto YouTube is this. Are you finally seeing the real machinery of the market, or have you just bought a ticket to a much more convincing show?